In Portuguese, every noun has a grammatical gender, masculine or feminine, and gender affects nouns, articles, and adjectives. So learning patterns from the beginning can help you understand how to identify gender in the language. Masculine nouns mainly end in o, and feminine nouns typically end in a, like in the following words: livro, carro, menino, casa, mesa, menina. However, there are exceptions, such as words that come from Greek. These words may use masculine and feminine articles irregularly, despite the endings following a different gender. Regarding articles, Portuguese has four main forms of definite and indefinite articles: masculine singular, masculine plural, feminine singular, and feminine plural. Definite articles are o, os, a, as. Some examples are o livro, os livros, a casa, as casas. Indefinite articles are uns, uma, umas. Some examples are livro, uns livros, uma casa, umas casas. When looking at the nouns, we can notice a simple pattern of pluralization. Many Portuguese nouns follow the pattern of adding s to pluralize a noun, like livros, casas, carros. Still, some nouns end in a consonant, so Portuguese uses different endings to pluralize such nouns. Nouns ending in m change the ending to ns when plural, like homem, homens, jardim, jardins. Nouns ending in l change the ending to is when plural, like animal, animais, papel, papéis, hotel, hotéis. In this case, some nouns will have an accent, so watch out for that. Nouns ending in r, z, and n all receive s when plural, like mulher, mulheres, flor, flores, luz, luzes. After learning articles and pluralization, a big Portuguese concept is adjectives that must agree in gender and number. The concept of descriptive adjectives will actually be explained in a different video, but the point here is the agreement of gender and number. This is a huge difference from English, because Portuguese typically places adjectives after nouns, so they must match in gender and number, like the following words: a casa bonita, as casas bonitas, o carro bonito, os carros bonitos. As we can see, the endings of the adjectives match the gender and number of the nouns, so this concept works with any article, noun, and adjective. In fact, this is the agreement pattern, where all words must match. The key takeaway from this lesson is gender, articles, and pluralization, which all work in unison to make sentences in the language. Still, some adjectives do not change when used with a noun. Some Portuguese adjectives end in e or a consonant, having the same singular form for masculine and feminine nouns, like inteligente, grande, feliz. An example is menino inteligente, uma menina inteligente. Here, only the article and the noun change, so the only information that we receive regarding gender comes from the article and the noun. This is important to understand, because not every noun changes between masculine and feminine. Some Portuguese nouns have one form, regardless of the person's gender, like estudante, artista, dentista. To distinguish gender in this context, it's good to rely on articles, like o estudante, a estudante. The last thing to know in this lesson is grammatical contractions, where certain prepositions combine with articles into one word. These contractions are required, and the most common ones are de, of or from, im, in, on or at, a, meaning to, and por, by or through. Let's see each type of contraction, starting with de plus an article. This preposition can combine with o, a, os, as, making do, da, dos, das. Some examples are o livro do professor, a porta da casa, os livros dos estudantes, as janelas das casas. At the same time, de can also combine with the indefinite articles uma, uns, umas, making dum, duma, duns, dumas. Let's reuse the previous phrases. O livro de professor, a porta de uma casa, os livros dos estudantes, as janelas de umas casas. As a dialect note, these contractions are common in European Portuguese. In Brazilian Portuguese, you can hear the uncontracted forms, especially in formal writing. Considering these contractions, it's possible to spell out all of the forms that the articles and prepositions can make. The preposition im, in, on, or at, can combine with o, a, os, as, making no, na, nos, nas, and uma, uns, umas, making num, numa, nuns, numas. The key point here is that de and im are prepositions that can combine with definite and indefinite articles, but other prepositions only combine with definite articles, like por. This preposition can only combine with o, a, os, as, making pelo, pela, pelos, pelas. The same is true for the preposition a, which can only combine with o, a, os, as, making ao, a, aos, as. Overall, if all of this sounds too confusing, you can take a look at this chart that summarizes contractions. It may seem like a lot, but it will be simple to get used to, because Portuguese grammar is quite simple, considering that we've seen gender and articles.